This is Off the Court with OG. I'm your host, Christian Charisma. On today's show, we'll sit down with NetsGC's general manager and head coach, OG King Curt, to get his reaction to everything that happened in Las Vegas for the Unified Pro-Am World Championship. But before we get things started, let's take a quick moment to tell you about our friends over at Zenny Blocks. Make sure to armor your eyes with Zenny Blocks virtually clear blue blockers. Whether you're streaming your favorite TV shows or playing your favorite video games, we know you're spending countless hours in front of a screen. So it's important to protect your eyes from any harmful blue light. Zenny Blocks will not only reduce eye strain, but also improve your sleep. That way you can keep your eyes on the prize, which is making the NBA 2K League for Season 5. Check them out on zenny.com/gaming and follow Zenny Gaming on Twitter and IG. Make sure to also follow Nets Gaming Crew on all social platforms. And without further ado, let's start the show. As always, this is Off the Court and we're on the air with OG. Episode 18 begins now. Curt, this episode has an interesting feel and dynamic to it, at least for me, because we finally got to meet each other in person at this Vegas event. How cool was it to have that experience with the countless other people you crossed paths with that weekend, to be able to speak to people, in person that you've spoken to online this whole time? Must have been a really cool experience for you.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it kind of took me back to a lot of events, a lot of LAN events that was going on actually before the NBA 2K League. I mean, you had the Pacers at the time. They had an event. You had Cleveland, which was one of the more iconic events that everybody remembers. Dallas, I'm kind of, they had their ticket tournament that was LAN. Like, it kind of was just gave all that feel all into one. Now, the only event that I really missed, I believe to date, is the UPA tournament that was in Dallas. That was the only one that I remember that I missed. But everybody knows me. I'm a personable guy. I like meeting everybody. I like talking. And definitely like being around my day ones. LT, Big West, Famous. Nick, Comp, Frank, Rico, just seeing the boys being back together, hooking up, and just overall watching talent prevail right in front of us. It's definitely the experience that you want to have around this time of year with the draft coming up and everything. So It was like perfect timing. And it definitely was great to see you, Christian. I mean, we've been working a lot side by side, via email, text, everything like that. But to finally get to meet you in person and handle some business together, it was great. And it definitely won't be the last time.
Likewise, I had a lot of fun, and I can speak to it firsthand, just kind of watching you interact with anyone who was, I want to use quote unquote, brave enough to approach you. There's sometimes people don't take that step to kind of introduce themselves to, 2K League coaches or scouts or what have you. But I saw it firsthand. Whenever someone came up to you, you gave them, more than enough time that to kind of get them to kind of pick your brain. And you were so willing and gracious with your answers and advice. So really cool stuff, a really good opportunity for everyone that kind of attended UPA Vegas to kind of make out of the event whatever they wanted to make out of it. Now, from players to staff, you already mentioned some of them by name. There were several NBA 2K League teams in attendance, obviously for their various own reasons. Among those reasons for NetsGC was to, for you to watch your team's all-star shots compete with his Pro-Am team, Kiss My Tims. Talk to us a little bit about what it was like to watch him compete, and actually particularly go into how intense that final series against ESGN was like.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to know shots over the last, 6 to 8 months. It's been a pleasure. Definitely, we talk at least once or twice a week. I try to give my players some air that's on the roster in the off season. I like to let them have them times to themselves, and I kind of just call on them when I need them. But it was great to be there to support him. Obviously, the outcome didn't go the way he wanted, and I knew that was going to be uh, uh, an experience because shots like many players, they hate to lose. I mean, and that's not a bad attribute to have. I mean, he was out there strictly on a business trip. We got a chance to catch up a little bit and capture some content here and there, but he solely was coming out there for one purpose, and that was the win. They came up short, and he's pretty hot about it, and he got up out of there. But we had a talk afterwards, a really good talk, and I think he's going to continue to develop and mature and learn how to handle and deal with certain situations, as we all do. I mean, I think as I was told, losing is part of the game, and it's how you handle it that separates the everybody. And some people handle it well, and some people don't. But like I said, something I said personally is that is the only way you avoid losing is one, you don't play the game, and two, don't lose. Like I mean, that's the only way you can avoid it. So, but it was great times as usual. Shots is a great kid, obviously a great player. Accolades speak for itself. And now we're just moving on to the next phase together as we get ready to find, 3 players to round out the NetsGC roster.
Yeah, I know as soon as that series with ESGN concluded, there was a shot of Shots on the big screen with his head down, and he was just devastated, and it was just kind of heartbreaking to see. You could see how bad he really, really wanted to win that tournament. Now, you had mentioned Dallas a little bit earlier. Like yourself, I too wasn't able to kind of make it out to UPA Dallas. I heard it was amazing being there in person for Vegas, getting to witness how successful the event was, and now seeing Lab, who is spearheading this movement with Ev, Lux, and the rest of UPA. I read Lab talk about a 100K tournament on Twitter. I've got 2 questions for you, Curt, to wrap this up. One, how proud were you of the community to see it come together for something like Vegas, seeing them support each other while competing? And 2, how excited are you about the future of the competitive pro-am scene?
I'd probably be lying to you if I said I didn't cry internally seeing the event and how it unfolded. Many of us in the community are humble, and we don't say a lot. We just do a lot. And Eb and Lab are prime examples of that. It's a lot of people who put in a lot of work with UPA. A lot of it goes unspoken, but definitely the work doesn't go unnoticed. So I think that's one of the big things. To sum it up in a whole is like, this is what happens when nobody cares about who takes the credit. That it's just that simple. You take leagues that actually come together and become unified, and it makes stuff happen. It's just a beautiful thing at the end of the day. I didn't know what to expect, and it's kind of funny when I got in Saturday. Went to the hotel, showered, got dressed, went over to the venue. I walked in, and boom, like it was packed. Like, I mean, like, I don't think I never seen that many pro-am games going on at one time. Like, I mean,
right.
If I'm not mistaken, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games potentially going on at the same time. That was like pro-am heaven for me. Like, so I was just proud to know and be affiliated with people that have made this happen. I was in the earlier talks of all of this stuff that was going on. I knew with the people that was spearheading was going to make it happen, and they did just that. And I'm proud of Ed, proud of Lab. Got to meet Lux, got to meet Perry, got to meet a lot of people over the years that was just a name, and a Twitter handle on Twitter. So I mean, to actually be able to meet face to face Everybody has a mutual respect for one another. Trust me, a lot of great conversations went down in Vegas. So we, most of us know what's coming in the future, and it's definitely going to be brighter than ever. And like I said, I'm just glad that something that I've been a part of for years now. It's crazy to think that we've been doing this almost 10 years, and we're at the point where we have 50K prize pools, soon to be 100K prize pools, multiple events going on in a lot of different cities and in states. So it's gonna be something. And like I said, it's either gonna be you catch the wave or you miss it. And it's just
Right.
that simple. I mean, so this shout out to all those guys. And I just was happy to be a part of a great event.
And what a first wave that was. It hasn't even been a full 6 months between the first UPA event in Dallas and then this recent UPA event in Las Vegas. And the exponential growth in a matter of half a year, I can only imagine what you and the rest of UPA has in store for this community, for the competitive 2K scene, and in turn leaking into the NBA 2K League players and an audience. So fantastic stuff. I made a last second decision to go, and I do not regret it at all. But Curt, that wraps things up for us here on episode 18 of Off the Court with OG. We only have actually one more show left until February 26th, Curt, which means our next episode will be a draft day special, if you will. Time is certainly flying. Curt, as always, I appreciate you, and hopefully we'll get to talk on here again soon.
No, definitely, Christian. Appreciate all your efforts. Like I said, shout out to everybody from the UPA. Looking forward to the next events, and everybody stay tuned for the next episode of Off the Court with OG.
One final shout out to friends of the show, Zenny Blocks. Make sure you guys check them out. Also, make sure to follow Nets Gaming Crew on all social platforms. With Vegas in the rearview mirror, all attention is now focused on player interviews. Good luck to all the prospects out there as we inch closer and closer to the NBA 2K League draft. On behalf of everyone over at NetsGC, thank you for watching. I'm Christian Charisma, and let's talk again next time on Off the Court with OG.